Okay, comic 96. Yes, that's Doc Samson there. We're continuing on with Doc Samson. Realizing, should that be a Z? Z or S? Oh, let me know, because the more I look at it and think about it, the more I will think that both of them are wrong. Realizing that there were not only two minds inside his patient, but three. That was a long thing that happened in the wrestling. Bear in mind that I'm writing all this out in text only format in my online wrestling federation, which is just a series of forums. So I'm writing all these things out. And I managed to do it just by changing the fonts, and that was kind of how you did it. You'd have your narration in one color font, and then your text in another color font. The amount of work I put into those, they were actually kind of cool. I think I have a few of them. I might have all of them. But anyway, there were not only two minds inside his patient, but three. Going back to the Hulk thing, where there's always the three, the doctor tried a radical technique to split the minds into individual bodies. So, the big Frankenstein switch on the side, he's wearing goggles for eye safety, and zap. This is different than the Hulk storyline. In the Hulk storyline, he has three personalities, and he tries to make it so that all three personalities are the main personality merged together as one. So he's not switching back and forth in between personalities. Anyway, the procedure was a success, but the doctor was unprepared for the monster he had released. He says, "Oh, that's funny. There are only two bodies here." Needless to say, this is where the doctor's part in this story ends. "Hey, Doc, I feel much better. Wipe up all that blood and we'll go to celebrate." Doc? I killed Doc Samps. It was. I know it's an online wrestling federation, but I murdered people. I actually did do that. Well, the monster had to seem real. So, I'm trying to think of how much I can talk about without giving away what is going to be in the comic next. So, um, yeah, this is just a procedure where he separates the personalities so that they all have their own individual bodies. I'm not sure where the physicality or the matter comes from the bodies. So there were not two minds, but three. Who were the three? Well, you had the original abstraction, which was kind of the happy-go-lucky, wacky, whatever. And then there was this evil monster, which the evil monster right there in the second panel, that's kind of an arm. I'd never fully decided what it was supposed to look like, but that just makes it look like he's probably a 10 or 12 foot tall Sasquatch. And then a third, which the third will come up. But the evil one was that. It was a monster. It was a huge, angry, powerful monster. So when you create a physical body for that, it's going to be huge and powerful and angry. Right? So again, that pretty much killed off Doc Samson, who I don't think I specifically named. I might have. In fact, I think I called him Doc Samson in my original wrestling forums. But it was going back and forth where when he was talking to the abstraction, in their interview, the interviews were actually psychiatric interviews. They were starting to get that way, where he was trying to talk to the different personalities. Meanwhile, he was still wrestling. I mean, this sort of tells you a little bit about well, it doesn't, but in our wrestling federation, you could do whatever you wanted in between. A lot of the characters, they kept getting their guys would get arrested and get sent to jail, but they'd always come back the next week and wrestle, so it was a pretty lax, fictitious world. So anyway, yeah, I think. So I won't describe the third one, because I think that's in the next comic. So we'll move on to comic 96.